Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. 10 years after the financial crisis, we still lack the infrastructure to prevent the next one, so we're going to address a few concerns and talk about it retrospectively. That's where I think digital assets come in. An efficient digital asset has the potential to address some of the most pressing issues with global liquidity. You know, the world's got trillions and trillions of dollars tied up in liquidity merely to get around how clumsy the flow of wealth is. Now you know the answer. One thing I do want to mention, and one I want to get to in this context specifically, is liquidity. He's talking about how they believe XRP will be the asset that solves these issues and stops the next probable collapse of the economy and financial system, and he's talking about how this is the big thing right now. If the correct market maker robot were implemented, however, a huge influx of cash could be unleashed for XRP. It will propel XRP to the top spot as the most liquid asset in the market. It will take some time for that change to become law. However, this is essentially the recipe for success when using XRP. Furthermore, the next banking system calamity is looming. Even though we've talked about doing it next year, I'm not optimistic. But I believe we are preparing for it. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't even think it'll happen in 2019. I think we've seen the beginnings of it already. But I think you're just sabotaging yourself. They must have a specific date in mind. I think they're already thinking about 2025. Currently, ISO 22 by 2025 at the earliest. At that point, we will start to see major shifts in the foundation of the banking system. There will soon be a massive crash, in my opinion. To me, it seems like we're just getting started with it. I don't think they have a plan in place yet, and that's why I say it. That, however, is merely my speculation. I could be totally off base here. We know the system is under tremendous pressure, so it's not a question of if it will collapse, but when. This is because of the recent collapse of several major banks. We also know that there is a lot of constraint on the financial system right now. However, that is also why we are curious about blockchain and its potential benefits. Extra liberates trapped cash worldwide due to the accumulated lack of interoperability between payment systems, and we can see Ripple fixing a $40 trillion legacy payment system problem if we go over here. High vibration assets, side XR of Daily, who first released this video. Give me a specific user type, I need to know who will be benefiting from this. So, I still don't think banks will be the initial customers, as we've always said. We've covered the topic of payment processors. We have conducted monetary pilot projects with companies including Graham's Western Union, Mercury FX, Qualtrics, and others in the payment services industry, all of which have sizable treasury departments. For example, suppose a payment provider that has hundreds of millions of dollars of negative working capital because they have taken their money at a rate and pre-financed it. In order to take this trip to Mexico, they had prepaid the account. We'll pretend they send $10 million to Mexico every week, and that each transfer is accompanied by a series of debits totaling $10 million. The ability to have real-time liquidity is a game changer, allowing them to now both over- and underfund. It is estimated that the worldwide pre-funded Nostra of Austral links are worth $10 trillion. If we're successful, by making international trade more productive and effective, we can actually rev up the economy around the world. Again, the evidence is complete. Again, the amount of liquidity in those accounts, those national voucher accounts, is sufficient to assist alleviate all of the pain points in the financial systems. The reserve currency is necessary for the national voucher accounts, but something else is needed to transact, exchange, and settle all of these valuables. If you need a transaction to settle in 3 to 5 days, or longer, after it has been made, you can count on the US dollar or other key currencies kept in sufficient reserves. However, the game is completely altered and a reserve currency becomes unnecessary whenever instant settlement is achieved between two things of value, for example, sell atomic settlement between two central banks. Since the only reason we have a reserve currency is because we need something that can be trusted in value and in the settlements to be present and reliable. The need for a reserve currency disappears once transactions are settled instantly. However, the land has suddenly made a major shift. I've recently been focused on the jump, as you're certainly all aware, dating back to November 16th. This was uploaded by Triangle Flow, which, for those who don't know Triangle, I know a lot of you do. A 40% stake in Triangle has been acquired by Ripple, the leading provider of international wire transfers in Asia. As of right now, Triangle's 25 payment corridors are all set up to use the Ripple's on-demand liquidity option. And I think there are at least 50 of these today. The massive infrastructure relies on on-demand liquidity that is funded by XRP. Triangle, however, is publicizing this and stating that if the director pushed for quicker, Keep C development, cross-border payments would increase. Cross-border payments can be facilitated through the rapid investigation of central bank digital currencies and financial technology. A case for public sector involvement in the digital banking journey was the topic of her keynote address at the Singapore FinTech Festival. While there has been improvement over the past 5 years, IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva has said that sector actors need to pick up the pace. According to Georgieva, CBCs have many benefits, such as replacing cash, which is expensive to transfer, and island economies, providing resilience in more developed countries, and boosting financial inclusion. Consequently, roughly 60 countries are investigating CBCs and establishing legislation to steer digital development. Policy choices, private sector responses, and technological advancements will all impact CBC's success. By providing fast and accurate credit rating, for instance, AI might improve upon some of SPEBTS's advantages and so help spread access to banking services more widely. Tokenizing bonds and other financial assets on the blockchain is another possibility. This paves the way for CBC to acquire such assets on a large scale through wholesale payment. Therefore, they want to move this new system forward as quickly as possible. It will make use of the same disruptive technologies that are shaking up other industries, such as international money transfers. Fast and easy international money transfers, enabling capital to reach its goal promptly. Companies of any size may now go global, and so can their customers' wallets. Even while remittance costs have decreased significantly, they are still more than the threes of transaction expenses allowed by the SDGs. One way to fix this is for policymakers to specify the qualities that cross-border platforms should have. For instance, platforms should make it possible for nations to manage their own currencies and control the movement of capital. Money laundering, terrorist financing, and data protection all need to be governed by a unified set of standards. Based systems like Ragtag, for instance, might save compliance costs. Also, recently I've been talking about how artificial intelligence and blockchain can work together to form the best possible answer, especially in the realm of financial technology. All of this, however, is intended to spur creativity and quicken the rollout of the new system. They want to introduce this new system while most people are asleep and unaware of what is happening. Do you blame them again? Consider this. Credit card utilization has reached an all-time high. With credit card debt at an all-time high, many people are tapping their retirement funds to make ends meet. We have a problem here. This new financial system is being planned at the same time by the elites. They're employing cutting-edge technology that only the elite have access to. And the 90s are in a key phase where they are experiencing some of the darkest financial periods of their lives, making it very difficult for them to delve into these subjects, conduct their research, and study them. And once again, it's all part of a master plan. That's exactly what they want. Their goal is to get others to stop paying attention to them. They intend for people to feel troubled by their current situations. When you have a lot of these duties hanging over your head, it's difficult to concentrate. Again, I'm not suggesting this is a positive development. What I mean is that it serves us well to have the time and resources to investigate and learn about such matters, as well as the financial wherewithal to make appropriate investments in them. Because once again, this is their plan, and the 99 don't have it. All white people should leave, says this group. They want the average individual to be so unaware of the situation that they won't invest or pay attention to it. The size of Mexico is another important issue I'd want to bring up. Because of this, I think many people misunderstand how big Mexico actually is. The largest Swiss alliance was just one topic of our recent conversation. There is recent good writing on the topic from Chad Steingraber, who has written not one but 2 posts. A series of these will follow. Consequently, this is the hub where all of Medico's high-level and institutional clients may access a unified digital asset platform. This appears to be the case, so this is how it looks to have been possible to see what a Walsh Group equity was. Sorry, you might also view as Deutz and Ether here, and then you'll be able to see the view details, transfer, receive, everything involved in the digital asset market on a large scale. New, scalable business strategies for the digital asset economy are on display in this section of the portfolio. The account balance is seen. Ripple enables the tokenized storage, trading, and transfer of thousands of digital assets in the healthcare industry. As you learn more about Medico, you'll realize just how important it is to connect and embed regulated and non-regulated assets into the necessary Web3 gaps safely. I've been telling you that Medico will have a profound impact on the future of cryptocurrency, and I'll say it again, I've been right. And as we survey the landscape, we should consider the roles played by various institutions. They're going to be tapping into platforms like Medico that offer an all-in-one platform. Again, this is all owing to Ripple's recent acquisition of Medico, which has been important in facilitating these developments. The comprehensive integration of exchanges, custodians, and settlement networks gives you access to everything hidden behind this privilege. What I've been saying is that you can get everything you need under one roof, including intelligent access to exchanges and liquidity venues, a universal gateway towards institutional DeFi in Web3, and scalable tokenization capabilities that are infrastructure agnostic and integration ready via APIs and possibly even RippleNet. Especially to the institutional players who will be tapping into this technology, I don't think people realize how massive some of these platforms like Medico actually are. We have direct knowledge of the presence of these establishments, we are aware of the secret meetings and the involvement of the major players in the medical field. Bet4Boss and other players are already using Medico's custody services, and their use of these services is expected to grow in the future. Building on the foundation of custody services paves the way for other services like tokenization, liquidity management, and lines of credit. What we're starting to see is that it must be finished as soon as possible, and this is the fruiting effect of having something like Medico, which isn't all under one umbrella. They intend to put this system into operation. We may expect to see tremendous progress in this area during the next 2 to 3 years. I keep repeating myself, but 2 to 3 years. Moreover, I realize that many of you are probably scoffing at me and saying, "Come on, Nick. 2 or 3 years is not enough time," but I want you to know that the foundations of our conventional system are being rebuilt from the ground up. It won't happen instantly. Of course, we will need to trade in the bull market, taking our profits and ensuring that we are preparing ourselves for the long game here. We need to ensure that we are taking our earnings, that we are conserving our gains, and that we are aware of the period that this will take, because once again, this is one of the most significant possibilities of our lifetimes, especially when institutional players begin to tap into the specific players, such as Ripple, Medico, and even XRP. So once again, make sure you're informed of what's going on here, because 99% of people aren't. They're still entirely preoccupied. They are experiencing some of the most difficult periods of their lives. And I'm sure I could speak for a lot of you out there as well. Like times are getting tough, especially with expenditures soaring. Right? So investing is difficult, especially for the average person. It's very tough. So we need to be conscious of this potential, aware of how fortunate we are to have money on the sidelines to invest in and tap into some of these assets, such as XRP, and comprehend the opportunity in front of us. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, please subscribe to the notification. See you later, bye.